A lot of parents say this. My child is smart, but they just don't put in effort. Why does this happen?
Yeah, this comes up a lot. Parents will say things like they rush through their work, they say homework is done, but it's not. And when you talk to the teacher, they hear the same thing. They're capable, but they're just not trying. And honestly, this is one of the most frustrating situations for parents.
Why is this so frustrating?
Because you can see their potential. You know they can do better. So naturally, you try to help. You sign them up for extra classes, you remind them, you check their work, and still nothing really changes.
So what's actually going on? Is it just laziness?
That's what a lot of parents think. But most of the time, it's not laziness. It's something a bit more subtle.
Like what?
When a child grows up being seen as the smart one, they start to believe something without even realizing it. If I'm really smart, things should come easy, right? So when something isn't easy, when it takes effort or feels confusing, that creates a problem.
What kind of problem?
Because now effort starts to feel uncomfortable, even risky. If they try and struggle, it doesn't feel like I'm learning. It feels like maybe I'm not as smart as people think.
So how do kids respond to that?
They avoid that feeling, not always in obvious ways. Some kids would play games all day. Others, they read, draw, daydream. Avoidance comes in many forms. Some just look more impressive than others.
And that's where things like lying about homework come in?
Exactly. You hear things like, I already did it, or I didn't have any homework, or I forgot. Not because they're trying to be difficult, but because avoiding the work also avoids the uncomfortable feeling.
So should parents just let kids choose what they want to do?
No, not at all. That's the tricky part. We can't just step back and say, hey, do whatever you want. Because most kids, left completely on their own, will not choose what's hard for them.
So what should parents do instead?
Instead of asking, how do I make my child try harder? Try asking this. What makes effort feel so hard for them right now? What is making my kid stuck?
Why is that shift important?
Because those are two very different ways of parenting. One comes from pressure, the other comes from understanding.
What does that actually look like day to day?
It may sound like, hey, I notice you rush through your work sometimes. What's going on? Or, this part seems frustrating. Do you want help? We can try it together. Really lean in when your kids are stuck. Get curious. If your kids are not opening up with you, you need to work on making them feel safe to open up. Saying, talk to me, it's not going to help.
So it's not about letting expectations go?
No, not at all. You can still have expectations, but make sure they're realistic and healthy. Instead of focusing only on the result, you start focusing on effort.
How can parents encourage motivation and confidence?
A simple shift is this. Instead of saying, you're so smart, start noticing things like, hey, you stayed with that even when it got really hard. Or you kept trying different ways. Or you didn't give up right away this time. Because that's what actually builds confidence. Confidence doesn't just come from getting A's. Confidence comes from sticking with the hard stuff. Keep trying, failing, keep figuring it out.
What's one thing you want parents to remember?
If your child isn't putting in effort, it doesn't mean they're lazy. And it doesn't mean you failed as a parent either. Sometimes it just means effort doesn't feel safe for them yet.
And how would you leave parents with this?
Next time you see your child avoiding work, instead of jumping to, they're not trying, just pause for a second and ask yourself this. What's making this hard for them right now? That small shift can change how you respond and how they start to see themselves. Simple shifts, big impact.